All right guys, as you can see, this water is moving pretty fast, and it's been my experience that after they've stocked, that a lot of times these trout will move down into this hole, but when the water gets up like it is now and it's moving as fast as it is, a lot of times they come in closer to the bank. So what I'm going to try to do, you can see it, I'm going to float this shrimp egg down through there. Let's see if I can get that on that hook a little bit better. And I'm going to see if I can get something to hit it. I don't know if anything's floated down through here or not, but I would say there are a trout, one or two trout in this hole anyway. At least I hope so. And I'm going to try in close to the bank and see if I can get something to hit it. I'm gonna have to put another egg on. That wasn't on there very good, and I think it was kind of a bad one anyway. So let me put another egg on there and we'll cast in here by the bank and see if we can get one. All right, here we go. Let's see. That felt like I had a little bite right there. That may have been a chub, but I definitely felt like I had a little bite. I tell you, that current's moving it pretty. There one hit. There he is. Well, no wonder he felt like a chub. Look how small he is. Oh, looky there. And that is a brook trout. Beautiful trout. I know he's not very big, but look at the collar. Look at his fins, how pretty that is. I'm gonna try to get this. There we go. That released easy. I'm gonna throw him back in, let somebody else catch him. But you can see what I was saying. In this nice hole, they're usually laying out in there, but because of the swiftness of the water, they move in closer to the bank. And so remember that when you're fishing high water, if you're used to going to an area where the fish is out in the middle, don't be afraid to fish in closer to the bank, because a lot of times what they'll do is they'll come in out of that swift water. All right guys, just had a bite right here, right off the edge of this rock. Kind of like at the last hole, not out in the swift, kind of closer to the bank. You can see him there. Doing a little tail walking. Oh, there we go. Not a real big trout. Average size trout's what I'd call it. There he goes. Rainbow. He was barely hooked there on his lip. He wasn't hooked very good. I'm glad he wasn't a big one. If that was a big one, he'd have got off. But he hit that salmon egg. Now, let me give you some advice on salmon eggs, because a lot of people talk about how good shrimp eggs are, and I'm in agreement with that. But let me say this, when the water is high, or I won't even say high, if the water is average to too high, shrimp eggs is a good bait. Especially when it's off collar a little bit like this, a little bit raised, it's a good bait to use. But when come May, when that water is low and crystal clear, shrimp eggs ain't worth a nickel. So there may be some people disagree with that, but I've fished shrimp eggs my whole life, and I'm telling you, I catch 10 to 1 the trout when the water's high with shrimp eggs than I do when it's low. I can't even hardly get a bite when the water's real low. So for what it's worth, that's the little fishing tip when using shrimp eggs. But we'll see if we can float another egg down through here. There might be another one in here. My goal was to come and catch 2 trout today, and we've been able to do that so far. So anything, if we get any more above the 2 I've caught, then it'll just be gravy. So we'll see if we can get on another one. All right, I've moved downstream about 30 yards. I'm gonna try out here in this deep, see if I can fool around here and pick one up before we move on. I've had a lot of luck out of this hole. But like I say, it's fished very heavy, and seeing how it's been a week since they've stocked, there's probably not very many fish left in here. I hit a snag there, but I got free. In the fall, I've seen them put some really big fish in this hole. And if you want to catch a big trout, Cranberry in the fall is a good place to do it, because they put some big ones in. Let's try over on that other side. I've pulled them out of there before. Beautiful day. It's 65 degrees. Perfect day to fish. And on Saturday, they're calling for 1 to 3 inches of snow and the high of 38. So if we're gonna get on them, we better get on them today, because I don't foresee me being out here Saturday. And 38's not that bad, don't get me wrong, but the wind is supposed to be 25 mile an hour. So you get 25 mile an hour winds down on this river with a 38 degree temperature, and it doesn't make for a pleasant day, I can tell you that. There's a little bite, and I just barely tapped it. There we go. He's on. He barely tapped it, but then he come back after it. So, yeah, not bad. He wanted it, he come back after it. Let's see if we can get him here. Not a very big one, kind of small. Beautiful fish, beautiful collar. Let's see if I can work this loose. There we go. We'll throw him back. Let somebody else have fun with him. There he goes. Take off. Well, there's 3 fish. So if we don't catch another one, man, I've caught one more than what my goal was. So I'll take that. That one we just caught he was laying out there in the middle, and I floated it down through there a couple times and didn't get a bite. And then on the cast that I caught him on, he barely tapped it, and I thought he was going to leave it alone, but then he turned around and come back and hit it hard the next time. So he wanted it. That's one good thing about when the water's off color. You don't know how many's in there. There could be none in there, or there could be 10 or 12 in there. You just don't know. But I prefer fishing when the water's high. I like when the water's high and they stock, because I like to get the fish spread out. I know people like to see them and things of that nature, and I understand that, but to me it's more fun fishing when you don't see them just laying there in a hole. There we go. That's a good hit. I don't know if you've seen the pole on that one, but he hit that one pretty good. There we go. Come on. Do it again. Yeah. Good job. He hit it hard. I appreciate that. Yeah, he's not bad. There we go. All right, that's 4. Let's get him unhooked and throw him back in the water. How about that? Let y'all get a good look at him. I don't want to keep him out too long. I want to throw him back, but he's not bad. There we got a bite, guys. Right there in that middle, as I was dragging it through that middle. I thought I'd give it a try, and I let it float down through there 2 or 3 times and didn't get nothing. And then out of nowhere, here come this one. Wow. He's not bad. Not too bad. Well, he kind of swallowed it. Let's see if I can get him loose here without hurting him. As you can see, stocked rainbow. Not too bad. Let's see. Whoa. He kind of turned himself loose on that when I was getting ready to get the pliers, and he turned himself loose. So guys, that's 5 trout for the day. So that thrills me to death. Let me say a few things about this. I don't care who you are, how good of a fisherman you think you are, or what stream you're fishing on. Nobody goes and just wears fish out every time they go. I don't care who you are. We've all had days where we've went and not got a bite, not caught nothing. I've had my share of those days. Sometimes these YouTube videos that people put out make it look like every time they go fishing, they just, you know, catch 100 fish. But guys, that's just not reality. I'm telling you, it's not. And, but I will say this, and I'm gonna turn around here where you can get a good look at it. Some of you may recognize this hole if you're familiar with the Cranberry River. This is one of the most popular holes on the stream. And I'll turn around this way where you can get a good look. And here it is Thursday. They haven't stocked since last Friday. And I'm at one of the most popular holes on the river. This hole is fished harder than probably any of them. And I've caught 5. So don't let people tell you that if you're not there the day they stock that you don't have a chance and that they catch them all out, because that's just simply not true. And we've proven that today. We're 6 days removed from the last stocking and we've caught 5. Now granted, they've been small. One of them was decent. The other 4 has been small, but hey, I'll take them that size all day long. I'm not complaining. So we've caught 5 in a short period of time. So there's trout to be caught. You just have to get out there and get after them. Don't let a little bit of high water scare you off. Don't look at that water and say, well, it's high, so I'm not going to go, or I'm going to turn around and go back home. I'm wasting my time. Now, if it was just solid mud and just roaring out of its banks, I may understand that. But just a little bit of high water and with a little bit of stain to it, it's not going to hurt you, man. There's still fish in there. You can catch them. And this is the perfect kind of water for the bait that we're using. That's pink shrimp eggs, Mike shrimp eggs. To me, is the best shrimp egg on the market. And I swear by them. I've used them for years. And in water conditions like this, I've caught a lot of trout. So we'll throw another egg on there and see if we can pull another 1 or 2 out of here. All right, guys, as you can see that little island of sand down there, that's where I just came from. And I've gotten to the point where I'm not getting any more bites there. So what I've done is I've moved up about 20 yards, and all I'm going to do is change the angle. I'm going to be fishing the same hole. I'm going to be using the same bait, a pink shrimp egg, and the only thing different is instead of dragging the bait down through the hole, I'm going to start up here and let the bait float down to the top of the hole. And I believe by changing angles, it's going to make the difference, and I believe I'll get a bite. Now, I may make a fool out of myself and not get a bite, but I believe strongly in changing angles. So we'll see if that tactic pays off. It might and it might not, but my experience is usually it does. So we'll see. Looky there, I just got a little tap. I don't know if you've seen that or not. Just tapping it. There we go. Now, here's what's funny. I was just down on that island, casting up in here, not getting a bite. I come up here and I change angles, and instead of reeling it through the hole, I let it float down to the hole. I adjust my drag a little bit. And that little adjustment is the difference between me getting a bite and not getting a bite. Now again, not a monster trout, but hey, I'm not complaining. Like I say, I'll catch these fish like this all day long. That's number 6 right there. Now, let's see if I can. Okay. Him back. Now, let me explain something. I could have went there and casted several more times and not got bites and said, well, that's it, they're all caught out. And I could have got my vehicle and drove to the next hole. But by changing angles, we was able to at least get one more trout out of here. So we'll try a few more casts and see if we can get another one out of here. But I'm telling you, changing angles makes a difference. Now, I'm not trying to be some kind of know-it-all or anything. I'm just trying to suggest to you that don't give up too quickly on a hole. If you're willing to change angles and approach it from a different angle, that could be the difference of you catching a trout or not catching a trout. So we'll see if we can get on another one here in just a minute. All right, guys, there he is. There's another one hitting it. Oh, look at that beautiful fish. Ah, what a beauty. That's a brookie. That's one of my favorite. Look at the collar on that fish. Oh, wow. Looky there. Let me turn it there. Look at that's a beautiful fish right there, guys. To me, it doesn't get any prettier than a brookie. I know they're not very big, but man, they're beautiful. Look at the collar on them fins. Look at that. Tell you what, a beautiful fish. We're definitely gonna throw him back. I'd throw that fish back even if I was keeping him today. That's a beautiful fish. That might have been the one that you seen hit on top of the water after a bug there on camera. I caught it in about the same area. Wow, what a pretty fish. All right, we'll give it a couple more casts in here, and then we'll roll on and try to fish another hole or two before we have to head home. Oh, look here, man. He hit that as soon as that bait hit the water. Now here's what's weird. I've casted over there 10 or 15 times and not got a bite. But then on that cast, as soon as the bait hit the water, he drilled it. There we go, come on. He's a fighter. He may not be real big, but he's fighting good. Oh yeah. Beautiful fish. Looky there. Calm down. Calm down, old buddy. I'm gonna help you. Huh. Looky there. Beautiful fish. I'll grab him by his bottom lip there. There we go. He's not bad. That's number 8 right there. Huh. About the time I go to quit and move on to another hole, I get another bite. Makes me think I got to at least cast 2 more times. What do you think? All right, guys, I just tied a new hook on. Put a piece of yellow power bait. I don't know why I would try that, as much success as I've had with them shrimp eggs, but I did. Put a piece of yellow power bait on there and floated it right out in front of me. just a couple feet from where I'm standing, and I had one come up and drill it. I hadn't let it float down through there until that cast. So it sounds to me like they're pretty much spread out all over this hole. Yep, little rainbow. Little rainbow. Hold still. Not very big. Decent. He swallowed it. I'm gonna see if I can get it loose. Okay, what I've had to do with this one is he swallowed it pretty good, and I had to cut the line. I don't like doing that, but he'll live. You can't see, but he took off pretty fast. So he'll make it. I've caught them with hooks in their mouth before, but it won't take long and that acid in their mouth will rot that hook out of there. So I'm out of hook, but it saved his life, and that's worth it. If you're not going to eat it, you need to throw them back. So I don't know what made me try that piece of yellow power bait, but I did, and he drilled it. But anyway, I'm gonna tie a hook on. That's 9 out of here. We're gonna leave this hole alone and going up a river and see if we can catch another one or two before we head back home. All right, guys, I'm at a little hole here, just a little creek off the side of the road. They do not stock this hole, but sometimes when the water gets up, a trout or two will wash in here. So I've got a little piece of yellow power bait, as you can see, and I'm only gonna make a couple casts in here, and maybe there's a little trout in here, maybe not, but it wouldn't hurt to take 5 minutes just to check it and see. So like I say, they don't stock it, but there definitely could be a trout floating in here somewhere. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here. I believe if there's one in there, he'll hit it pretty quickly. And there may not be anything in there, but to me, it's always worth stopping here, taking 5 minutes just to see. It's a beautiful hole, and it's really deep. But as you can see up a stream there, just a little creek that branches off the main Cranberry and comes down in here. We'll turn around here and see if there's any on this side. You never know. I'm not getting any bites. But like I say, these little pockets like this, little holes, there may not be any fish in here, but it never hurts to come make a cast or two just to see. Because I have stopped here before, and there'll be a rainbow or two laying in here. Sometimes even a gold one. You just have to catch it just right. Has to be high water that washes them from a stocked hole in here. Hey, I guess I got a bite. I ain't kidding you. Huh. Well. Oh, look. He hit it good. Huh. He bumped it, and then he followed it back in as it got closer. Look at there. Pretty little fish. There we go. He must have stocked a lot of brook trout. Who knows how long he's been in here. Let me try to get him up here where you can get a look at him. There he is. He's not bad. Pretty fish. Huh. See if I can work that loose. Tell you, they're hard to hold on to. There we go. Just had to work it just a little bit. Throw him back. Man, that was a nice fish. Right when I was going to give up. Let's get a piece of bait on there and try another cast.